Welcome to What's Up, Spirit, episode number 7. I am Sheri Hauser, and I have the good fortune of being the brand steward at Victoria Truth Center. I am here with the lovely Reverend Lesia Kohut, the spiritual director, and this is another episode of What's Up, Spirit,
What's up, Spirit?
where we muse about what is up in the ether, in the universe, in our sphere, in our spaces, and we dish about the events that are occurring at the amazing center known as Victoria Truth Center, VTC, here in Victoria, BC.
Yeah, and as always, there is plenty that we can dish about. So how would you like to start us off today, Love Ambassador Sheri?
Well, I always think that it's a great practice, as we've done before, to connect with self before we connect with other. So I'd like to take a quiet moment of inner reflection to turn our attention and our gaze inward. And we'll take a few grounding breaths together. I always love the audible exhale. Maybe we can do one together. Inhaling, and letting it out. Dropping deeper into that connection with self. Following your breath. Letting it naturally occur, but tuning your awareness to how the body responds to each breath. Tuning into the thing that your body does without even being aware, without even needing any mental muscle. Just knows your chest and belly rise and fall. And just as we can tune our attention to our breath, we can tune our attention to our thoughts. What are the quality of my thoughts right now? What am I thinking about this moment? What am I thinking about who I'm being? What am I thinking about who you're being? Noticing. Are any of those thoughts critical? Are they neutral? Are they positive? I love tuning my awareness into this because whether I know it or not, there's an impact on how I show up, my mood, all connected to the quality of my thoughts. I notice that I'm feeling eager to turn my attention back to you, back to the room, back to the space that we're in. So in the next breath, I'm going to open my eyes and greet you back here on the screen. Something really amazing happened this weekend. I was traveling down to Seattle for a beautiful concert with the Seattle duo band called Yaima. And there was an opening act called Moonchild. And they were two brothers. One was celebrating his 30th birthday. And as we entered the space, the music venue, the band was just getting started. And the way they invited us to pay attention was so refreshing for a musical concert. This idea of tuning in to self, and to ground ourselves in the space that we're in, to offer our attention to the lyrics, the message. They talked with great reverence about the land and Mother Earth. And in some ways, it felt like a spiritual sermon.
Mm.
And I realized how new it was, or novel it felt, to be at a music concert, at a nightclub venue. And yeah, and it just was a different experience. Like, the majority of the crowd didn't have a drink in their hand. The majority of the crowd wasn't busy talking, socializing with their friends next to them. The majority of us were just paying exquisite attention to the musicians as they did their craft, and the cello player that sat on the edge of the stage playing her cello. And it was quite moving. And that was just the beginning of the weekend. That's how the whole thing started. If I tell you about the bookends of how it started, listening to Wolfchild and Yaima and another band called Creature, but it bookended with a spiritual wizard that I met when you and I were together at the Intuitive Arts Festival here in Victoria, BC, the first weekend of November.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this product that I'm showing you now for those of us watching on the video channel, an Earth manifestation disc, and he was someone that I wanted my friends to meet, and so we connected before we left Seattle. And one of the things he immediately saw in his psychic, cosmic reading capacity of being with people and reading their energy is that we were still operating on an individual chakra system.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 chakras in our system, from crown up here, and our third eye, and our throat, and our heart, and our sacrum, and our solar plexus, and our root. And he said, if you want an upgrade to the unified field of infinite potentiality, where your system is now online with other beings who are also operating in the unified field. We looked at each other, there were 4 of us, and we said, yes, please. And we got this hardware upgrade to our operating system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still just settling in 2 days since that experience as to what that even means to me. How do I take in that kind of expanded connection? Is that wisdom? Is it access to energy? What do you make of it? I have a feeling you've got something to say, Lesia, about the unified field, and I'd love to hear your perspective.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, because it's just so in line with what I believe it is that we are endeavoring to do every moment of every day, as just a being, an energetic being that is expressing, and something that we're doing as a community at the Victoria True Center. And when I hear the words unified field, I immediately think of Lynn McTaggart and Power of 8. I immediately think of Joe Dispenza. I immediately think of people who are so focused on helping people to shift out of this sort of limited way of experiencing life, of thinking that whatever it is that we experience through our 5 senses is it, that we are the body that we inhabit, that we energize, that we are the past experiences that we have had, that we are our thoughts, that we are our beliefs, that we are our feelings, that there is something that is so much greater and more powerful and more impactful and more creative And without being part of your experience, this past weekend, and having had that hardware upgrade myself, I am delighted and fascinated and curious, as to what this was and what happens, and this individual's, are you going to tell people who it was, the who does all this?
Yeah, why don't I put a link
Okay, yeah,
in
yeah.
the
So
in the show notes?
okay, so then his name is Todd. And
Mhm.
so for me, I'm just like, wow, how does he do what he does? How is he tuned in? How is he so tuned into self that he can now simply just focus on this unified field of infinite potentiality, and can now help and support other people to become that much more tuned in, dialed in, raising vibration, frequency, expanding, opening up, however it is. I don't know, what languaging he uses, if there is specific language that he uses, but because at least where I am at my level of awareness and consciousness, my understanding is that energy is all there is. And so that we are energy, our conversation is energy, that beautiful, what did you call it? The thing that you showed?
It's an earth manifestation disc, this one specifically.
Mhm. Can you
Yeah,
describe it a little bit? Because it's just it for people who aren't
sure.
watching. It's
Yeah.
so gorgeous and very provocative, and I'm very drawn to it visually.
The one I'm holding is at least 3 inches in diameter, and it is slightly transparent in that light travels through it. The disc has two sides, and they're similar in color palette with a lot of blues, a lot of electric, vibrant cobalt blue with some seafoam green, some bright fuchsia pink, my favorite color, the color of my hair and my sweater today. And there's gold as well, a warm, glowing yellow. And then there's this radiant white light that seems to be translucent through the entire disc. I would call the pattern of the shapes to resemble sacred geometry.
Mhm.
And this particular disc is a special edition from this year. And he refers to it as an amplifier, this particular one. And he describes it as for manifestation on the physical earth through your direct connection with Gaia. So this is about channeling what it is that we want for ourselves, but what is it that we want for all beings in our relationship with Mother Earth.
Mhm.
And this particular disc sits on our altar with a crystal medicine wheel and some special pieces from our ancestral lineage.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm still new to this technology, and so without wanting to say too much, I'm very much an amateur, and I'm find myself fascinated and wanting to learn more.
Yeah.
So I'm regarding this type of technology as like I'm willing to learn and be open to what I don't know about. And I don't necessarily know what's true and not true, and what's logical and illogical, what's spiritual and what's too woo. But I'm just on this ride, and what I know from the Intuitive Arts Festival is him, Todd, and his work, what he was sharing with everyone there, to me was the most interesting thing in the room,
Mhm.
and I wanted to lean in,
Yeah.
and so I leaned in, and I wanted him to meet my friends who were doing some beautiful energy work themselves, and it was anything but boring.
Well, I'm really, really, really glad that you brought that in today, and we'll have a picture of it wherever we can, so that people can see the particular the piece that the disc that you have. Because when I look at it, I sort of, without trying to label it or the experience that I'm having, I kind of get pulled in sort of like into a vortex. And I'm also having a kaleidoscope type of experience. Just because there are, it seems sort of, even though it's a circle, it's a disc, there are kind of four quadrants or corners, and there are things happening, and you could divide it up into, you know, four. The colors are spectacular. And so I just am like really curious about this tool, about this technology, that's a word that you're using, as an invitation, as an activational item that can help people to, you know, open up, realign, tune in, you know, whatever it is that helps someone to come back into the most amazing spiritual alignment in this moment, to access, you know, more consciously, I guess, the information and the infinite possibilities of how we can be, how we can show up, how we can experience our individualized life experience as little tiny bits of allness of this incredible, amazing, unified field. So it's like, it's another way. It might be a newer way, I don't know, but it's something that I'm definitely not familiar with. And so I thank you for introducing it, because now you've got me really curious. Because I'm always about, how else can I up level? How else can I become more aware? How else can I learn and grow? Because the work is always for myself first, which I think takes us back to the beginning, and whether you said it at the beginning or before we started recording, so that we can tune into ourselves and connect to self more fully before, and so that we can connect to others and tune into others more fully. So
yeah. Just like you said, it always starts here.
mm-hmm.
You know, when I accept myself as I am being in this moment and in every moment to come, as I make space and welcome everything that is happening, that I am being, it gives me more grace and compassion to accept how someone else is,
Mm-hmm.
how someone else arrived, how someone else is being.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have as much capacity for compassion for another as I first offer myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of what we're all doing here together, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the events that you and I are curating for the community in Victoria who join us at the Truth Center. It really is all about tuning in and celebrating whoever you are, however you are. And we're doing that together in community.
Yep.
Every week.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know you've got a special event tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give you space to share what's happening at the next Elevate. Do you want to do that first before I say more about Radiate?
Sure. Since Elevate, well, we have two Elevates, because we have the one coming up tomorrow, which is the 20th. And then we have the super special one coming up at the end of the year, which will be our closeout ceremonial celebration for the end of the year, to say thank you and goodbye to the old, and open up and greet the new. So Elevate, I mean, every Wednesday, 7 to 8:30. It is an opportunity to connect through live music, through community, through discussion, a little bit of an inspirational talk. It's very interactive and engaging, not dissimilar to what happens at Radiate. But it's a different flavor. It's another way to experience spirit. And even though I'm very excited about tomorrow, because it's another Wednesday night, I'm super excited about next week, because it is going to be a very special evening that's going to be different from the other elevates that we've had it's going to start and just go all the way. And I know that you're participating, you're bringing something lovely to the table. And we're going to have a sound bath, we're going to do a burning bowl ceremony, and we're going to do a visioning. And there's going to be a very special gift that everybody who attends is going to receive from the Victoria True Center. And I already have just goosebumps all over my body, just knowing that that event is already unfolding and has unfolded in the unified field of infinite potentiality as this profound experience of connection and consciousness, up-levelment, expansion, community, and love. So that's what I have to say about that.
Wow. Sounds like a lot is being offered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Friday at Radiate, which is a monthly cabaret that I put on with a spiritual twist. The opening is being led this month by Alex King Harris, who is a local legend. He is someone who delivers music as medicine through breath work, through vocalization, instrumentation. He takes us on a journey using our bodies as an instrument through breath and sound, healing through the vibration, the frequency of what it feels like to vocalize in community. Now, I'm not sure how much of his breath of life work he's going to be bringing to Radiate on Friday night, but I know that he'll be bringing with him a few of his instruments and treating us to a soundscape. So for anyone who hasn't been, please do come before 7, because he'll be playing right at 7 o'clock. We have a very special guided meditation that's heart opening. And we have a juggler this month because it's a cabaret, and we love to celebrate all forms of radical self-expression. Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Excellent. Any closing words this week?
Oh, just grateful for the opportunity to hang out with you for a little bit, to hang out with our growing community, however it is that you're engaging with us, whether it's online through the Facebook group, whether it's on a YouTube channel that is soon to come, whether it's listening through the podcast, or being with us in person on Sunday mornings or Wednesday evenings or fourth Fridays of the month. Just grateful, grateful, grateful to be building community, to be expanding and connecting and divinely intertwining in and as love.
Beautiful. It's a time of year to be a little extra gentle with ourselves as we navigate group dynamics, family dynamics, maybe a few extra social gatherings on your calendar than normal for all of my beloved introverts out there. Yeah, just really want to offer some self-love and permission to get your own needs met. That's what I want to offer out to any of our listeners, our viewers, is that I want to hand you a big old permission slip. Sometimes no. Thanks, no thanks. I can't make that event today. It's all right. It's all right to say, I'm still practicing. So good luck out there, everyone. Many blessings.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, Sheri. And thank you, everyone. For more information on the Victoria True Center, you can check out victoriatruecenter.org.
Until next week.
Till next week.